I never thought I'd be asking for a comb over,
Yes.
but now I'm like, hey,
But here we are.
up. Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. Today is a very exciting day because I'm about to fulfill one of my 2020 New Year's resolutions, and that is to up my eyebrow game. I actually put on my vision board for this year that it was one of my goals to finally get better eyebrows. I have gotten so many comments over the years from people on YouTube, on Instagram, etc. that are like, Joslyn, stop plucking your eyebrows. They're too thin. And I'm here to tell you that I literally do nothing to my eyebrows. Yes, I did some major damage in the 90s when I was in high school, but even before that, they never grew very thick. And I have tried every single product on the market. We're talking brow serums, lash serums, castor oil, vitamins, biotin, and guess what? None of it has worked. And I've been just a little bit too scared to make the jump into microblading, which is essentially like tattooing your face, just because I'm like a little nervous about it, even though so many of my friends, including Lily, have had amazing experiences and have gotten gorgeous eyebrows from microblading. And that is why I am so excited about what I'm going to do today, because it's kind of like the gateway entry into microblading, and it is definitely the hottest eyebrow treatment of 2020. It is called eyebrow lamination. Yes, I'm about to get my eyebrows laminated. So I heard about eyebrow lamination from one of my favorite websites, Who What Where, and they did an article covering Asia Vines, who describes herself as a brow wizard. Her company is called Hyper Real Brows, and when you go on their website, they offer a ton of stuff, including microblading, but she also does brow lamination, which she describes like this. Want a brow lift without the pain and the price tag? This service is for you. Brow lamination is a non-invasive treatment with zero downtime that will tame even the unruliest brows and keep them in check for up to 2 months. Whether you've been debating microblading or have already taken the plunge, this brow realignment service will reveal the brows you never knew you had. All right, well, I just got here to Hyper Real Brows. I'm so excited to go meet Asia and see what she can do with my super skinny eyebrows. All right, you guys, I made it into Hyper Real Brows, and this is the brow wizard herself, Asia. Hi. I described a little bit about like what brow lamination is, but how would you describe it?
So brow lamination is basically like a Brazilian blowout for your eyebrows. It's gonna smooth the hairs, temporarily redirect the innate growth pattern so that you can style it into a more desirable shape.
Now, I have been considering and like dabbling with the idea of getting microblading for a really long time because I'm so lazy and I hate wearing makeup. So anything I can do to like make my routine more simple, but I'm honestly just like freaked out a little bit by microblading. Is that common?
Yes, it's super common to be anxious about microblading. I mean, there's definitely a level of permanence to it. It's also a commitment financially. If you're going to see somebody that you trust, it's definitely gonna be a little costly, but worth it. And it's there at least for about 1 to 3 years.
Listen, I'm so ready to do whatever it takes to make my eyebrows better because it was one of my 2020 New Year's resolutions on my vision board to have better eyebrows.
Yes, let's get these brows going.
I did do some damage for sure in high school when it was like the trend of like one hair attached to one hair attached to one hair. And I've tried like so many serums and growth things and vitamins, and like nothing has really worked for me. So do you feel like I'm a good candidate?
The great thing is that you don't have to have a ton of natural hair to appear to have a lot of natural hair with brow lamination, because it gives such a lift to the amount of brow hairs that you have, and it incorporates all of the little tiny hairs that sometimes you don't get to see because of the way the brow hairs are growing. They might be laying one over the next. So this is just gonna make them all visible and make them appear a lot more full, more symmetrical, and basically like give you a brow lift.
Literally, I'm like waxing my mustache, waxing my leg, doing all this stuff. I'm like, why can I not select like where I want the hair to grow so I look like Lily Collins? My eyebrows, you know what I mean?
For sure, I know. I'm like, it grows in all of the places we don't want it.
Something else that really made this attractive to me is that it's non-invasive, like you mentioned, and it's pretty quick. Like
Yes.
this is like what, 40 minutes or so typically?
Like tops, yeah.
Oh my gosh, girl, I could come get my eyebrows laminated like on my lunch hour. This is definitely, I feel like, a trend I have seen popping up everywhere just over the last few weeks. And I think this is gonna be one of the hottest beauty trends of 2020, for sure.
Absolutely. It is taking the world by storm already. So we're gonna get set by cleansing the brow to begin with.
And you also recommended that before you come in that you do all the things you need to do that might get your face wet, like wash your hair.
Yes.
Maybe not wear heavy makeup. Like I don't have any makeup on my eyebrows. There's some foundation.
Perfect. It's nice to come in with as little on as possible. And like I said, wash your hair, do anything that might compromise getting your brows wet because you want to keep them dry for at least 24 hours and up to 48. So I'm using a little bit of this. It's called styling adhesive. Not everyone necessarily needs this, but it will help give a little extra lift before we even get started with the procedure. So I'm just gonna lightly brush that through. You don't need much, and you can see it's already kind of like lifting them up, getting them going in the same general direction.
And what are your thoughts on eyebrows in general? Like I've heard people say they shouldn't be identical twins. They should just be like sisters or cousins or something.
I mean, that is the saying, and honestly, it's true. Eyebrows are sisters, not twins. I do my best to get them as close as possible, but because we don't have perfectly symmetrical faces, that can be a little bit of a challenge. The cool thing with the lamination though is it really does give almost instant symmetry, so it's really fantastic. So this first solution is our lifting solution. I'm just gonna take a little doe foot applicator and begin to saturate the brow with that. This is basically like the perm part. You can probably smell that a little bit. Ooh, perm
like
smell.
That toxic goodness I love.
Yes. So we're gonna blend that through, and you have a little bit, like your brow hairs are a little bit thicker.
Oh, they are?
Yeah, so
Wow.
I'm gonna leave this on for about 4 minutes. I'm about to put some really glamorous saran wrap on your face. So after the timer goes off,
Okay.
I'm gonna check on them and I'm going to kind of smooth them in, start really coursing them into the direction that we want them to go in. For you, we're gonna definitely be trying to pull them up, especially on the tail part of the brow where she's a little more sparse and a little thinner.
Now, something I do want to mention that we have already discussed is that, like, if you want to come into a place and magically have like the thickest eyebrows you've ever seen in the world, like, I mean, we all have to be realistic with our
Absolutely.
expectations. And for me, we already talked about the fact that like the end of my eyebrows are not going to like magically have like 50,000 more hairs. It's just going to be lifted what I do have, right?
Correct, yeah. So lamination is not gonna create hairs where there are none. Again, it's gonna help incorporate all the little ones that get hidden. So you will get some more volume, but yeah, if you're walking in with 6 eyebrow hairs, you're probably not gonna look like Brooke Shields.
All right, well now we wait.
A few minutes later.
The timer just went off. I'm so excited. What do we do next?
Okay, so we're gonna take off our adorable eyebrow saran wrap, and I am going to brush your hairs. I'm gonna just brush the product through the hair. You can see that they're becoming a little more pliable. Again, you got a little bit thicker of brow hair, so I'm gonna leave this on for another 4 minutes probably. And it's good to go in increments. We can always keep it on longer if need be, but it's really important to make sure you're seeing someone who is a professional so that they're not frying your eyebrow hair off. So we're gonna go ahead and put this back on.
More saran wrap.
More
on my
saran
face.
wrap. And we're gonna set another timer.
Okay, great.
A little longer than a few minutes later.
The alarm went off yet again.
Yet again. So now we're gonna take a peek, and I'm just gonna make sure that lifting solution has been on there long enough. So this is just me, this is little doe foot applicator, and I'm just kind of checking in to see, you can see we're getting that nice like smooth,
Totally.
really making the hair more pliable so that we can get it going in the right direction. At this point, you've processed long enough with your lifting solution.
Ooh. And I can definitely feel the solution on my skin, but it's not painful.
Yeah,
At
so
all.
you might feel a little bit of like warmness, tingling. Burning is not good. Your brows
No.
should not feel on fire. If it's bothering you while you're doing it, let your brow artist know so that they can go ahead and take the solution off.
Do people typically like fill their brows in a little bit too once they're done with this?
Where I did my lamination training, they advised against putting in product right away.
Okay.
But after the 24 hours, once you can go ahead and wash your brows, brows, you can brush them in your desired direction and go ahead and fill them in that. So now we're putting our laminate solution on. This is going to help them stay in the upward direction, smooth them out, add a little bit of moisture. So we're gonna go ahead and make sure that's saturating the hair. We're gonna get a new piece of our handy dandy brow size saran wrap.
Oh yes. Do you trim down people's eyebrow hairs before you laminate?
I usually do the trimming afterwards.
You do,
So
okay.
if there's any hair that falls outside of the shape or any trimming that needs to be done, I'll do that afterward, but I like to have as much as possible to work with so that we can get our like biggest, boldest brow.
A few moments later.
So we're gonna do what we did basically the first time. We're gonna check in, we're gonna brush through them, and then I'm gonna use my doe foot applicator again to smooth them all in the same direction.
So what is this? I'm sorry that you're applying right now.
I'm not applying anything additional. I'm just taking that same doe foot applicator that I did for this laminate step, and I'm just smoothing them down. But here we go, yet again, saran wrap.
Oh, saran wrap me.
5 minutes later.
So now I'm gonna go ahead and wipe away that second solution, the laminate solution. So this is a little bit of brow shampoo that comes with the specific kit that I use.
cute.
I'm just gonna make sure that none of that initial solution or the secondary one I use is lingering.
This is wild.
Big difference, right?
Huge difference. Will they stay kind of like adhered to my face, or do I need to use like a brow gel?
So in the 24-hour time frame, they're gonna stay looking like this. When you wash them, that's gonna soften up a little, but they really will stay going up in the desired direction. So you're able to get this treatment every 8 weeks, and the results last anywhere from 6 to 8. But towards the tail end, they're gonna soften slightly. You're welcome to use some brow gel to get them going back in this direction, but honestly, you don't need to really use brow gel. So I'm just gonna get under here and get some of these little tiny hairs that fall significantly out of our desired shape. And I can brush them slightly over.
Wow.
Style them. Step 3 is just a setting solution. Just a really thin, light layer of that.
Who is she? Oh my gosh. Okay, I am zoomed in on my mouth only because I have not seen the finished product from my eyebrow lamination makeover. Am I finally achieving my 2020 New Year's resolution? Okay, here we go. 3, 2, 1. Oh my gosh. This is unbelievable. Are you happy with the process? Because
Oh my God, yes. Look at these. Like, you had no tails. There were no tails. And now there are tails.
How do you think I was able to get tails?
So we lifted them up again. They're not laying on top of each other, masking. So actually, I know you were like joking about the length of your brow, having long grandpa brow hairs, but actually those work to our advantage.
Stop it.
Because
The old
we're
grandpa
able-
hairs are helping me.
Yes, yes, they're helping you.
And I think the other added bonus is that having brows that already make sense will help them be easier to fill in.
So now you can kind of see much more of a visible shape. Then it's really gonna be easy to place some product. I personally love to take like brow flick or like one of the brow pens.
These eyebrows are gorgeous. Oh my gosh, you guys, I am blown away with the results. And I think over the next few days, as I'm able to like fill them in and add a little product, like I'm going to look like a all new person. The brow wizard herself, this is Asia. You guys be sure to follow her on Instagram. If you live in LA, definitely come here.
So I do shaping, lamination, and microblading. So even if you've just been growing your brows out and you need somebody to help you find the perfect shape for you, I've got you covered. If you want to try this lamination service,
You do.
And it's hot off the press, you guys. It's going to be the biggest beauty trend for brows this year, I'm anticipating.
Go follow her. Follow
ours.
Hyper Real Brows on Instagram as well. And if you don't live in Los Angeles, I think it's time for a vacation.
Yeah.
Your face needs a vacation, and you need to come right over here and get yourself taken care of. Also, you guys, what do you think of my before and afters? Are you shook? I am. 2020 is going to be an amazing year.
2 days later.
But wait, the video's not over yet because I wanted to show you guys the finished product, or at least the product as it stands right now, because I'm still kind of learning how to fill these brows in. It has been 48 hours since I got my eyebrows laminated. I had to wait a full 24 hours before I even washed my eyebrow area. And today's the first day that I'm testing out, like trying to fill them in. As you can see, they're not perfect yet. Gotta love that guy right there who just popped up, by the way. I mean, I think this is a great entry-level treatment to anybody out there who's thinking about microblading specifically. It took 40 minutes. It cost $70. It's been really fun to like play around with these brows, which are quite literally 3 times thicker than my previous eyebrows. Do you guys like it? Do you guys think I look cute? Should I keep on working on filling them in? Do you know anyone who can help me learn about that too? Anyways, what do you guys want me to do next? Do you think I should do microblading? I'm not really sure yet. Anyways, I could keep talking forever. This video is over. Thanks for watching. Listen, I am so ready to do whatever it takes to make my eyebrows better.
Eyebrows are sisters, not twins.
I mean, we all have to be realistic. These eyebrows are gorgeous.